255,000 jobs were created during July, another blowout jobs number. Joining me now on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange is Matthew Cheslock, an equity trader for Virtu Financial. So Matthew, first of all, let's take a look at where we stand with stocks. The Dow is up 150 points. Obviously, investors are taking this number pretty well.
Yeah, and record high for the S&P too. So it's a broad-based rally. It's not just a couple stocks that are leading us, but there are a few sectors that are stronger than most, and that's normal with maybe what we're seeing from the tightening from the Fed. Financials have been acting pretty well, so that's what's leading us today.
And this jobs number is sort of more proof that the May number, which ended up revised higher by 24,000, right, and the June number were sort of flukes, right?
I think so. You know, we're back on more on the year-over-year gains or the 6-month gains. So the number of gains 3 months had went down because of that May number, and it was only revised slightly higher, but still a revision higher always helps. And then today's number obviously was so robust, the market's reacting favorably.
Yeah, and the 3-month average is now 190,000 jobs, so that's a healthy number.
Yeah, and it has been. You know, I mean, we're talking about 50 consecutive months, I think, of jobs growth. So, you know, it's pretty impressive at what this economy is doing.
So it's hard to look at these numbers and say that the Fed shouldn't raise rates one more time this year. What do you think?
I think they're really boxed in based on what we're seeing as yesterday out of the Bank of England. You know, we thought that maybe put a real damper on any Fed expectations of a rate hike. But today's number obviously will bring that back into focus. But they have another number to look at the beginning of September before they meet again. So you know, the expectation is only about 30% of them raising in September and maybe only 40% in December. So it's still not a done deal.
Okay, and the other uncertainty, of course, is that election. I mean, the election isn't exactly in the Fed's mandate, but you know, this has been a Fed that has been focused on the markets, and the election is in the markets mandate, so to speak.
Well, you know, it certainly is, and they said that they're going to remain neutral, but you know, that's certainly not the case. They have to look at it, but equities are the place to put your money right now. So if you're an equity trader, this is all you're cared about. You're not worried about any of the geopolitical stuff. You're not worried about any stuff that's going on in Europe. You know, we've seen to be above that, and you know, this is a place to put your money.
Well, S&P 500, I'm looking at it now at 2179. Do we get to 2200?
You know, I would anticipate the first hour being the best hour of the day, and then we'll probably maybe sell off a little bit. The volume isn't extraordinary today. It's a summer Friday, so I think we probably got all we're going to get out of this rally today. Do we get to 2200 today? Probably not, but certainly we could next week.
Yeah. Let's also talk about the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.9%. A lot of us wanted to see that number kind of tick up a bit, just to sort of show that more people are sort of getting back into the workforce and looking for work.
Yeah, these numbers, you know, there are some conflicting signs to it, and I think people will take some of it and they'll do what they want. You know, people aren't really positive about this number, some people, but I think when it's all said and done, you know, let's look at what wages are. You know, there's still you know, some room to grow there. We're still looking for unemployment to maybe tick down, maybe tick up. So some people are all over the map. So as I am right now, I'm all over the map too. As an equity trader, I'm looking on a trade-by-trade basis. So I'm not going to forecast too much past today's number, and I'm not going to look to September just quite yet.
All right, and would you give that same advice to investors out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to trade it very closely to the vest. You know, we have two healthcare numbers today out of Merck and out of Bristol. You know, you see the difference. Those are two huge companies reporting numbers. So you have to be very careful what you're investing in and stay nimble. But right now the market's telling you that we probably want to trend a little bit higher.
All right, well, let's take one more look at stocks. The Dow still up 152 points. Pretty incredible. Matthew Cheslock from Virtu Financial, thank you for joining us.
Sure, anytime, Scott.